Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Her podcast. I'm so grateful that you have joined me today, and excuse my nasally voice. This winter weather, because I live in Australia, hasn't been very kind to me, and it has just been the worst bout of sickness on and off, but I never want to miss an episode of the podcast because I know how much they mean to you and how much they are part of your weekly routine. And I think that the topic of today's episode is also perfect because I'm also recovering from being unwell, and I always want to share it with you. Like, I never want you to miss out on your episode of the Healthy Her podcast. And I honestly, hand on heart, just genuinely love recording these podcasts for you. I feel like I'm literally pressing play, hitting the mic, ready to go, and just sitting here and chatting with my besties. So I didn't want you to miss out. And so that's why you just have to put up with my little nasally voice today. All right, let's jump into today's podcast topic. And it's going to be a raw and real chat with you, to be honest, because it is something that comes up so often and so many women experience it and they feel like they're alone in it. So I'm hoping by the end of today's episode that you feel a little bit less alone if you are currently experiencing this yourself. So the topic of today's podcast is how to feel like yourself again, get your spark back, boost your confidence and your motivation. Now, I think I would say all of us have been here at some point in some way. So it's either been one time where you've lost your spark and your motivation, or it's been multiple times that have popped up throughout your life. And I know that if you're part of the Healthy Her community, you're here for a reason. You're here because you're on a self-improvement journey. You truly want better for yourself. You want to show up better for yourself. You want to look better. You want to feel better. And I just want to remind you today, that's okay. Like, it's okay to want to look better and to feel better. And I know that often it's something that I guess kind of gets looked down upon as women. It's like, well, why do you want to look amazing? Or why do you want to look good in your outfit? Or why do you want to feel good? And we're not supposed to have those needs and desires. And I just want to let you know that's totally okay. You can still love yourself and you can still love the person that you are and want to change your body. Like, I think that's okay. And I think it's something that's not talked about enough. It's like this bad thing if you want to better yourself or improve yourself, that you should just be happy with the way you are. You know, you can still like yourself and love yourself and still want to make some changes too. But I know as women that often our needs are ignored. They just get ignored. They get pushed aside. And like I said, there's this expectation that we should want better for ourselves, that we're busy, we juggle all the things, we're mums, we work, and that it's just our load and that we should just suck it up and get on with it. But you can. You can want better for yourself. You can want to look better. You can want to dress better. You can want to improve your physical body. And this is what this podcast topic is all about. I really just want you to accept and to understand that if you're on this journey right now and that's how you feel and you feel like you've completely lost yourself, you just don't even know who's looking back at you in the mirror, it's okay to want better for yourself, okay? It doesn't mean that you hate yourself and that you're a bad person. It's okay to still like yourself and still want to also change a few things too. It is completely okay. So I just wanted you to take a second and I just want you to think about this. Do you wake up some days, maybe most days, maybe every day, do you wake up and just feel like you don't know yourself anymore? You look in the mirror and you're like, who is this person looking back at me? Like, who is she? She's tired. She's worn out. She's wearing some old clothes. She just looks kind of empty and flat. It's like she's just kind of lost that twinkle, that sparkle, that kind of glow in her eyes that she used to have. And to be honest with you, I have been in that place on and off throughout the years. And it's something that pops up every now and then. And each time that this has come up and I've lost my spark and I just haven't felt like myself, and I'm standing there looking in the mirror going, who is this person? I've been able to find my way back to myself again. I've been able to find my way back to her again. And so that's why I wanted to share this podcast topic episode with you, because I want to share with you the things that I do on those occasions when I have lost my spark, I've lost my motivation, I just don't feel like myself. And I want to share with you what I do, exactly the steps that I do and the simple things that I do to get my spark back again. So when I wake up in the morning and I look in the mirror, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Yep, she's good. Let's go. Feeling good. Got that bit of a glow, bit of a sparkle in my eye. I'm feeling vibrant. And I want that for you too. Now, before I talk about how we're going to get our spark back and what our next steps are, I want to talk to you about I'd say the main experience that I've had when I lost my spark. And it was definitely after I had children. You know, motherhood is such a wild ride, and to go from not having children to having children is a massive thing, you know, and then have one child to two child or three children, whatever you have. I have two kids, by the way, a boy and a girl. And that was a really pivotal moment for me that I just remember. Like, I remember standing in that mirror and just going, who are you? Because I didn't fit the old identity that I used to carry, but I didn't fully feel like I was this new person yet. Like, I was this mother now and I had children. And I just remember specifically this one day, and I was just standing in the mirror, and I remember standing there for a lot longer than what I normally would. Because, I mean, really, we're mothers. Who has time to stand anywhere for a long period of time? And I remember standing in this mirror for a long time and just looking at myself and just pondering and just looking at this person that was staring back in the mirror at me and going, who are you? Like, who are you? Like, I didn't like my body. I didn't like the way I was showing up for myself every day. Like, I was making excuses for the fact that I had kids, so I couldn't exercise. I couldn't eat well. I had no time. I was looking at the way I was dressed. And to be honest, I just kind of looked a bit lazy and like a bit of a slob. And I was just like, I didn't really put much effort into doing my hair or putting much makeup on or putting on a nice outfit. I was just kind of just going through the motions, just rolling through day by day. And I remember that specific moment standing in front of that mirror and going, something's got to change here. And a lot of people ask me, they'll say, Jen, but when was that moment when everything shifted? And it was that moment in the mirror, because it was like this pivotal moment where I went, you know what? Like, I just don't like myself right now. I don't feel good. I've lost my spark. I have zero motivation. I have no confidence in myself. I don't stand there and look in the mirror and go, wow, I really like this person. She's awesome. And I'm really proud of the person that I am and how I show up for myself every day. I wasn't that girl. I just made all these excuses about why I couldn't take care of myself, why I couldn't exercise, why I couldn't eat healthy, like why I couldn't take 5 minutes to bother to do my hair properly in the morning or whack on some powder and a bit of lipstick so that I felt nice. And people always talk about women wearing makeup, like that for some reason, I don't know, some genius out there seems to think that we put makeup on for men. And that is so far from the truth. And I definitely realized that after I had kids, is that I put makeup on because it makes me feel better. It's not to cover up my face. It's because a little bit of makeup and some lipstick makes me feel good about myself. And I just realized that stopped doing all of those things. And like I said, people always ask me, when was the moment that you wanted to lose weight and change? It was that moment in the mirror, because I just had completely disconnected and lost the version of myself that I used to be. And I knew that I was a mum now and that had to evolve and that had to change. But there were so many things that I just was not doing for myself. And like I said, just as we do, just making a million excuses as to why I couldn't dress myself properly or brush my hair or eat a healthy meal or And I just felt very disconnected to the person that I was looking back in the mirror. And if you've experienced this, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you're standing there looking at you, like, you know it's you, right? Okay, I'm looking at Jen in the mirror, but it's like it's in my head. I want to be this version, but this is the different version that's actually looking back at me. So that for me has definitely been a pivotal moment where I decided that something really needed to shift it and really need to change. Now, before I jump into exactly how we're going to get your spark back, get you feeling good, boost your confidence and your motivation. So you want to start going to the gym. So you want to start taking care of yourself. So you want to start brushing your hair. And so you want to start putting that little bit of makeup and that lipstick on. We have to talk about where it went. It's important that you understand where your spark has gone and how you actually got to this point. Because we don't want to just brush that aside. We don't just want to go, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Let's just work on how we're going to fix it. You need to recognize that it doesn't happen overnight. Okay. You didn't just go to sleep one night and then wake up the next morning and go, where is that woman in the mirror? Like, what happened to her? Where did she go? That is not how you lose your spark and your motivation. It happens gradually. It happens very slowly and very gradually, and bit by bit, with lack of sleep, with stress, with kids, with work, with that mental load as women, your constant to-do list and always thinking about the next thing that you have to do. It slowly chips away at you. It slowly chips away at your self-confidence, and it slowly chips away at your energy and also your identity. And like I said, it's a really slow thing, but those tiny little moments every single time that you put yourself last chip away at your confidence and that version of you that had the spark and the glow and just felt good in your own skin. So why do I feel like that? That's why, because it's all of those tiny little things that over time have started to chip away at the person that you are. Now, here's the thing. I want to be really clear on this, because I know that when we talk about this as a topic, especially in social media, I see that it's like there's sort of this push that you have to completely overhaul yourself and there's nothing about you that we like, and we just have to create a whole new version of you and a better one, and let's just throw out the old and let's just completely do over you and make you better in this newer version. You don't need that at all. You're amazing, literally as you are. There are so many incredible, amazing things that you have currently. You do not need to massively overhaul everything in order to get your spark back and in order to start feeling good again. You just need to reconnect with the woman that you are. That's it. It's that disconnect that you're missing, and that's where the spark has gone. Now, I'm pretty sure that you're already that version, okay? She just got lost in there along the way somewhere. You're already that version of yourself that you desire. You know how to have fun. You know how to dress well. You know how to show up in society as the best version of yourself because you've done it before. You know how to enjoy your life. You know how to smile about things, feel good about yourself. It's just that you've forgotten how, and you've just disconnected from the woman that you are. So let's talk about how we are going to get your spark back. And like I said, this is such a common thing that comes up all the time. Women will, like when I talk to them in the membership or online, and they will say, but Jen, I just don't know who I am anymore. Like, I've just completely lost myself. I've lost my spark. I have no motivation. I just feel like I'm just rolling through every single day, and it's like Groundhog Day, and it's just the next day and the next day and the next day. And it's purely just because you have become disconnected with the woman that you are and the woman that you used to be. I have narrowed it down for you because obviously I have to keep this podcast episode length at a reasonable time. So I've narrowed it down to my top 6 things that I do when I want to get my spark back, when I do not know who I am, when I do not know the person that is staring back at me in the mirror. These are the exact 6 things that I do. And like I said, I did give you an example of like that time after I had children where I'd completely lost my spark, but I've experienced that throughout other times of my life. So These will work for you every single time that you feel like this, like you feel disconnected, like you don't know who you are and that you've lost your spark and you want to get back to yourself. Because at the end of the day, you are your home. You are the only body that you have. It is the only place that you live in. So if you do not take care of it, this is how you are going to always feel. You are going to always feel like that disconnect, like you don't know who you are, you don't feel good, you don't like the person staring back at you in the mirror, and it's not a good place to be. All right, number one, that's the things that we're going to do to get your spark back. You must shift your energy. Ask yourself this, like, where is your energy going? And being so honest with you, I have truly felt myself in this place multiple times. Like, you just get stuck in this spiral, this cycle of constantly complaining about everything. Everything has a negative connotation. Like, you're whinging about stuff at work, you're whinging about family members, you're whinging about the weather, about the traffic. Like, you get in this mindset with your energy and everything is negative. So are you in that energy of everything is negative? Like, nothing is good, everything is bad. And it all comes down to your energy and also to its manifestation. Like, if you are constantly waking up every day and saying, everything's crap, everything is crap, I hate my job, I get no sleep, I've got no time for this. It's just a cycle and a spiral that you're continually repeating. And it's what you're telling yourself. So you're going to continue to attract more of those things. Like I said, everything around us is energy. So if we start, even if you don't believe it, if you start saying some positive things to yourself and start shifting your energy and start speaking in a positive way, you will notice that the energy around you actually changes. And like I said, I know in that moment, even if you're not feeling it, you're like, well, everything still sucks and I really don't like myself. And, I'm so happy with how I look and how I feel. Just pretend. Even if you just pretend, give yourself 7 days of pretending and saying positive things, you will notice a shift in that energy. You will notice the people around you start to shift. You will notice the things that happen to you every day start to shift, because it's science. Like, everything is actual energy. So you need to start shifting the energy and you need to start shifting the way that you are talking, the things that you are saying, so that they are more positive. Even a simple thing, something that's really worked for me, is just waking up in the morning and saying, today is going to be a really good day. And even if my mind is knowing that I have literally got a shit show waiting for me that day, I will still wake up and say, today is going to be a good day. And it sounds really simple, but it's just shifting that energy. So, like I've talked about this before on the podcast, your brain doesn't know the difference between something that's real and something that's not real. So you can tell yourself whatever you like and your brain will believe it. So you can say, I'm going to have the best day ever. Today is going to be a really good day. And it will just start to shift your energy. Because like I said, when you start getting in that negative mindset, that negative, everything sucks and it's all bad and nothing good ever happens to me, it really is a downward spiral and it does become quite hard to lift yourself out of that. So positive things only, and watch your energy start to shift around you. Number 2, stop waiting to feel ready. Motivation doesn't come first, the action does. And this is where we get it so wrong. So if you are trying to eat healthy, if you're trying to get to the gym, if you're trying to go for a walk, if you're trying to drink more water, you don't get the motivation first. The motivation comes after the action. So you'll get the motivation. You'll start to feel good. You will start to get your spark back after you take the action and after you do the thing. And I know you're probably going, what? That just doesn't make any sense. I completely agree. You would think it would be the other way around, but it's not. You get the spark, you get the motivation, you get the confidence after you do the thing first. And when you're in that mindset of everything sucks and I just don't know myself, I don't like myself, you do get in that trap of just waiting to feel motivated. And it's probably the worst place to be, because you're not going to feel it. It's not going to come. Okay. When you're in that mindset and in that place, it's not going to come. So don't wait for the motivation. Take the action. Go for the walk, drink the water, make the high protein lunch, whatever the thing is, because then you'll start to feel good afterward. You'll feel it. You'll get the little twinge, the little boost of endorphins, and you'll be like, I feel a little bit better about myself now. And it's not the motivation first, it's the motivation after. So always remember, action first and the motivation will come after. Confidence that you want comes from the proof that you can do something, not from the waiting. All right. Waiting is not going to help you get your spark back. Waiting is just going to leave you feeling stuck, feeling creepy, and not liking the person that you are seeing back in the mirror.
Jen, I honestly cannot thank you enough. Your podcast, The Healthy Her, has done so much for me. And for the first time in my whole life, I feel like I have a healthy relationship with food and exercise. I've always been a binge eater. Then I'd swing the other way and become really restrictive to punish myself. But now I've finally realised I can have everything just within reason. There was one episode that really changed everything for me when you shared about your son being in hospital and how the food you were eating made you feel. That was my aha moment. It made me realise how horrible my body feels when I'm not fueling it properly. In such a short time, you've helped me shift so much. I see food and my habits completely different now. I've already told so many people about your podcast and the impact it's had on me. So truly, thank you, Natalie.
All right, tip number 3. I want you to make a significant effort to reduce your decision overload. You are feeling this way and you're lacking this spark because you are allocating all of your time to everything else and not allowing and allocating any time to yourself. Now, in order to do that, in order for you to take some of your time back, you need to start reducing your decision overload. So you need to get organized. I talk about this all the time, and it never kind of gets a lot of attention because it's boring and people go, get organized. If you're a busy woman and you're juggling multiple things, so I'm talking work, household, career, children, all of this stuff, your kids' schedules, like everything, the only way that you can make time for yourself is to get organized, all right? You have too many daily choices every single day, planning meals, all that stuff, like so much stuff that you have to do every single day that if you don't get organized, you're never going to find the time. And I know because I've been there. I've experienced it. I didn't have the time. It was me, remember? As I talked about at the start of the podcast, that girl that was standing in the mirror that just did not know who she was. She'd lost her spark. She felt so out of touch with who she was. She didn't like how she was showing up for herself. I got organized. I planned my workouts. I wrote them in my diary. I planned my family dinners. I meal prepped my breakfast. I did things to reduce my decision overload, to free up some brain space to start thinking about what do I want for myself? Do I want to go to the gym? Do I want to join a Pilates class? What do I want to do? So being more organized, reducing your decision overload is going to help you feel less stressed and more in control of your day. All right? Because at the moment, when you're in that space where you've just lost your spark, you're in a state of chaos. Okay? You feel chaotic, you feel crazy, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like every day is just whizzing past you. You have no control in what's going on. So we need to put you back in control. And that's where getting organized and reducing your decision overload really matters. Okay. Tip number 4. And this is one that like I said, I'm so guilty of this. So guilty. Number 4, dress like crap, feel like crap. True. Dress like crap, feel like crap. It is so true. And I can tell you, I have tested and tried this theory out on multiple occasions, and every single time it is true. If you dress like crap, you feel like crap. Because there are so many times where I've been so guilty of this, where I'm busy. I'm like, gee, I've got so much stuff on. Like the days are just ridiculous. And I get up and I go to the gym. So I get up, I'm in my activewear and like a hoodie, whatever, and I go to the gym. Well, my day just gets away from me and I stay in my activewear. No, gross. Like my sweaty, smelly activewear that I've gone and worked out at the gym at 5 a.m. and I stay in there all day and I do my work and I sit at my computer and I get the kids to school and I do all the things. I feel like crap. Okay. I just do. I don't show up and I don't have that confidence that I would normally have if I choose to dress properly. So like I said, I've tested this multiple times and I've also got into this really bad rut before. I've done it like multiple days in a row where I've like, it doesn't matter. I'm just working from home. I'll just stay in my activewear. It doesn't matter. And I feel like rubbish. I truly feel like rubbish. And I don't show up as the highest version of myself for others and for like also too online. I just feel like I just show up differently. So how you dress determines how you show up. It is so true. And there's studies that I've read about women in business and women in the workplace, women that dress well in the workplace significantly earn more money than women that don't. Like, that's a crazy statistic. That just goes to show the simple power of dressing well and showing up for yourself. Like, there's been research and proven studies on this stuff that how you dress affects your income and how you actually are perceived in the workplace. And I think as busy women and mums is we sort of go from one extreme to the other. So we go from that whole, like, if you're listening to this, you're thinking, oh, but I don't want to dress in a suit it's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting out of your activewear. I'm talking about getting out of your tracksuit pants or your leggings and your oversized jumper or your dress with the leggings underneath. Like, I'm talking about going into your wardrobe, getting a nice top and a pair of pants. I'm not talking about dressing like you're in corporate. I'm talking about on purpose, active dressing for yourself. Going to your cupboard and putting something on that you feel good in, that you like, and it will help you show up as a different version of yourself. Because like I said, when you start losing your spark, it's all of those little things that go. It's the way that you dress. And like I said, I mentioned earlier as well too, think about your hair again. Hand up here, guilty of that one too. How many days have I gone and not washed my hair because I didn't have time? Yes, I've done that. How many days can I use dry shampoo because busy gal here? We've all been there. We've all done it. Take the time to wash your hair. Write it in your calendar. Wash your hair. Style your hair. Put a bit of something in your hair. Wear a nice outfit. Put some lipstick on. Spray your favorite perfume. All of those things will help you feel better. They will help you to reconnect with yourself and to get your spark back. And just always remember, if you're waking up every day and you're dressing like crap, you are going to feel like crap. And I know that, like, we're in a cost of living crisis at the moment, especially here in Australia and those kind of things. And clothes are cheap. Like, you can go to Kmart and buy a really nice top for yourself for $20. And it can make a massive difference to how you show up for yourself in your day. So don't forget, how you dress impacts how you actually show up for yourself during the day. All right, tip number 5, reconnect with what used to make you feel alive. Problem that we often make as women is people saying, oh, you don't make, it's just because you're doing too much. Like, you've got too much on your plate and you're just doing too much. It's actually not the problem. Problem is not that you're doing too much, because women are amazing, aren't we? Yes, we all agree. Women are amazing. We can juggle 1,000 things at once. We just do it, and we do it very well. But the issue is not that we're doing too much. The issue is that we've stopped doing the things that make us feel alive. Let's think about this. When was the last time you actually did something and went and had fun? Like, had a fun time, like laughed and giggled and like just did something spontaneous and had a good time, just because it wasn't something that you had to do. It wasn't someone's birthday that you had to go and do, or a family thing that you had to go do, or a social event for your son's soccer team. Or like, when was the last time that you just went and had some fun? Like, did something fun, like went go-karting, or like went bowling, or just had a night out with the girls and did some dancing. I can guarantee you're listening to this and going, yeah, Jen, it's been a while since I've done that. And I'll share with you a funny story, because I am so guilty of this too. Like, all of this stuff, like I said, I have lived, I've breathed and tested these things, and they work for me every single time. I've lost my spark, I've lost my motivation, and I want to get my confidence back. And there have been so many times in my life where I've just stopped doing the things that I love because I got so busy. I stopped doing those things because I just found an excuse. I had no time. I was overwhelmed. I was stressed. And something for me that I really like doing is I really enjoy dancing. Like, please don't get me wrong here, I'm not a ballroom dancer or any kind of, I'm talking just on the dance floor, some loud music with your girlfriends, having a fun dance. And it's something that I realized that I've just stopped doing. Like I tend to go out for dinner, or like I want to just go out and dance. Like I love listening to some good music and having a dance and all that kind of stuff. When I was literally chatting to a girlfriend about this, and we are going to sign up and do some line dancing. So that is one thing, one little goal that I've set for myself is to do some line dancing. And I will let you know how it goes. I will report back on my line dancing experience, but that's all it takes. It's about bringing one small thing back into your week that you used to enjoy. So it could be that dance class. It could be a book club. You might love reading. Go and join a book club. You might used to have had regular wine nights with friends or margarita nights, and now you just don't do them. And the group chat's always full of, oh, but I can't do that date. And, oh, no, that doesn't work for me. And my kid's sleeping then. And it's my mum's birthday. And my daughter has dance practice. And you never actually do those things. Those connections that we have as women are really important, really important. So make an effort to get back to doing something that you love doing. And I'm not talking about an obligation or whatever. I'm talking about something that you just do for fun, something that you feel it in your soul, like you just feel alive and you just feel good. It might be an ocean swim, like whatever your thing is, book it into your calendar this week. All right. And my last one, number 6, boost your connection to yourself. Now, I've talked about this throughout this whole podcast about how you lose your spark because you feel disconnected to yourself. Like that's why it's happening, is because you've become so focused on the outside world, on everyone else, on work, on kids, on the house, on all of that stuff. And you've become disconnected with the person that you are. So you need to start tuning into her. What do you want? What do you need? What makes you feel good? What makes you feel crappy? Like you really need to take some time to connect to that person that you are. Like, what do you need to really focus on? Is it that you've completely dropped the exercise stuff and you're not doing that at all? Have you completely dropped like the social side of your life? Like, do you just work, kids, home and nothing else? Like, have you not made that time to have those connections with friends and be social and do those kind of things? Or for you, is it more that you've dropped that connection to yourself through your appearance? So how you dress, how you do your hair. Like I said, dry shampoo for 9 days is not a good thing. Is it the clothing? Is that your focus? So really, for number 6, I want you to work out how you can best start boosting that connection to yourself. Is it how you dress? Is it the exercise and the health? Does that need to be a priority? Or is it that social, the friends, the fun, the having good times? And really start to make that a focus and start to bring it back. Because like I said, it's not often that you're doing too much. It's often that you just stopped doing those things that actually bring you fun and joy and laughter. And because without those things, what's life? What is it? What's the point? What is the point of working really hard and doing all this stuff if there's no enjoyment and there's no fun inside of there as well? Then you just feel sad and you just lose that spark. And like I said, that's what happens. It's your chip and it slowly erodes away at the person that you are. To finish up today's podcast episode, I just want to talk to you about the fact that this is all related to your identity, okay? When your identity will come back to you when you take action, not when you overthink. So when you start all these things that I gave you, when you start doing these things, that's when you will start to get your spark back. You will start to feel confident again and you will start to feel motivated. If you listen to this podcast and you go away and you just stay stuck in that negative cycle and you overthink everything and everything's bad, and it's the place that you will stay stuck in because everything is energy. If you start taking some action, start doing some things differently, some small things, making some changes, you will start to feel that shift and that change. And identity of yourself that you have lost, you will start to feel it coming back to you. So you can still give some of those pieces to everyone else around you, to your family and work and all those kind of things. But if you start connecting with yourself, you'll start to feel that lost identity that you had will slowly start coming back to you and you'll start to reconnect with yourself. And I really just want to remind you, just before I finish off today's podcast episode, is that no matter where you are, right? No matter how old you are, what size you are, whatever it is, you're never a lost cause. It's not too late. Your age doesn't matter. It is possible 100% to get you back to feeling like you again. Like I said, doesn't matter age, weight, size, whatever it is, health. It is 100% possible for you to get your spark back and to get you back to feeling like yourself. And honestly, it's exactly why I do what I do, because inside the membership and with the women that I work with, this is the transformation that I get to see. I get to see these women that come to me and they're like, but Jen, I'm so tired and I've lost my spark and I don't know who I am. And then I get to see this massive transformation that they make. And a huge thing for me, I know that our Slap Down members don't necessarily notice themselves because they're the ones looking at themselves in the mirror every day, but I see the transformation in their face. The photos that they share in the beginning when they first start, and the photos that I see as they progress. And what do you see? The glow comes back. The spark comes back. A little bit of rosiness in the cheeks come back. The smile comes back. All of those things that those women have lost for such a long time, they slowly start to come back. And honestly, it's just the best thing that I get to do when I get to work with these incredible women every single day. So I hope that you have taken this as a massive reminder. It's never too late. You're never stuck, and you can always get back to the way you used to feel good, to look good, to dress well, to show up as the best version of you. It is possible. It is so possible for you. It's not overcomplicated. You don't have to completely overhaul who you are because you are an amazing human being. It's just about taking those small steps and a small action to get you reconnected and get you back to feeling your best. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. If you loved the potty, don't forget to give it a 5-star rating, give it a thumbs up. It means more than so. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you all in our next episode.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @TheActiveBod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.